Today, we're going to tackle one of the biggest, most debated financial questions you will ever face, and the answer might not be what you think. So let's get right into it. The ultimate question: should you keep writing that rent check every month, or is it time to take the leap and buy a home? Everyone, and I mean everyone, has an opinion on this. But the financial reality of it is, well, it's often totally misunderstood. Now, you might think there's a simple yes or no answer, but the truly smarter move really boils down to one crucial factor that most of us just overlook. It's not about which one is better in a vacuum. It's about your personal time horizon. How long do you actually plan to stay put? Because that one little detail, it changes everything. To really figure this out, we're going to frame this out as a financial showdown. In one corner, we've got Team Rent. In the other, Team Buy. And we're going to score them across 4 make-or-break rounds. So these are 4 rounds. First, we're going to look at sunk costs. That's the money you spend that you will never, ever see again. Then we'll dive into the secret power of opportunity cost, what that money could have been earning if you hadn't bought a house. After that, we'll weigh the sheer freedom of mobility. And finally, we'll look at the slow, slow climb of equity buildup. Let's see who comes out on top. Okay, so right out of the gate, round 1, we have to talk about the money that just vanishes. And this is where buying starts with a serious, serious handicap. Let's just use a pretty typical example. Say you're renting a place for $1,500 a month. That's $18,000 a year. Poof, gone forever. Seems like a lot, right? Well, now compare that to buying. In the very first year of owning, say a $300,000 home, you could lose somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 to costs that don't build a single penny of ownership. So how is that even possible? Let's break down that staggering number. First up, the big one, mortgage interest. With a pretty normal 6.3% rate on a loan, about $15,000 of your payments in year 1 go straight to the bank. That's not paying for your house, it's paying for the privilege of borrowing money. It's just gone. Then, on top of that, you've got property taxes and maintenance. And a conservative estimate for both is about 1% of the home's value, each, every year. So on our house, that's another $6,000 that's just vanished into thin air. And we can't forget the big one-time hit you take right at the beginning: closing costs. All those fees for lawyers, agents, and banks can easily tack on another 3% of the home's price. So that's at least another $9,000 added to your list of money I'll never see again. You can see how this just snowballs. But you know, the money you pay out is really only half the story. The real financial battleground, the hidden part, is opportunity cost. What could that huge chunk of cash you used for a down payment be doing for you if you weren't buying a house? So what if you took that $60,000 down payment and just invested it instead? Let's say you put it into a basic stock index fund. Historically, you might get around a 7% annual return on that. Now compare that to the average rate a home appreciates in value, which is closer to 2%. As you can see right here, in the short term, it's not even a contest. Renting and investing that down payment builds your wealth much, much faster. So far, Team Rent is just running away with this thing. But this decision isn't just about dollars and cents. Let's move on to the next rounds, where we're going to look at how this all impacts your actual life and the kind of tricky long-term mechanics of a mortgage. Mobility is just a massive advantage for renters. You get your dream job offer across the country? Awesome. You can literally pack up and move next month. But if you're a homeowner, you're looking at 60 to 90 days best case scenario to get your house ready and sell it. Plus, you've got this lock-in effect, where owners who have these amazing low mortgage rates are basically stuck. Moving means getting a new loan at a much higher rate. So the winner of the mobility round, no question about it, is renting. And this right here, this illustrates a really tough reality of buying a home. It's a little thing called amortization. This is where your money is actually going in the early years of a mortgage. It's pretty shocking. A whopping 85% of your payment is just interest. You're just paying the bank. Only that tiny little 15% slice is actually paying down your loan and building your ownership, your equity. Think about that for a second. For more than 10 years, you are paying more money to the bank than you are for your own home. So here's the key takeaway. In those first few years, buying a house is financially almost the same as renting from the bank, but you have way, way less flexibility. Okay, we've broken down all 4 factors. It's time. Let's tally the scores and declare an official winner in this financial showdown. So here it is, the final scorecard. And it really tells a story of 2 different time frames. If you look at the short term, in the first 1 to 3 years, it is a complete knockout for renting. Sunk costs for buying are way too high, the opportunity cost is massive, you have zero mobility, and you build almost no equity. But now look at the long-term column. As we get out to 7, 10 years and beyond, the whole dynamic flips. Your equity finally starts to build up, and that begins to balance out those huge initial costs. It becomes a completely different ballgame. This brings us to probably the single most important idea in this entire debate, the break-even year. This is that magic moment, the tipping point, when owning a home finally becomes the better financial choice. So in our scenario, using today's interest rates and market conditions, when does that break-even point actually hit? It's not in year 3, not in year 5, it's not even in year 7. For our example, it doesn't happen until around the 11th year. For the first 10 years, you would have been financially better off just renting and investing your down payment. Only after a full decade does buying finally pull ahead. That really changes things, doesn't it? It means we've probably been asking the wrong question this whole time. The real decision isn't a simple choice between renting and buying. The real question, it's a personal one. Are you confident you'll be in the same place, in the same home, for over a decade? If the answer is a definite yes, then buying can be an incredible wealth-building machine. But if you're not so sure, well, the numbers are pretty clear. Renting gives you the financial freedom and the flexibility to come out ahead. The choice is all yours.